Welcome back to our YouTube channel, GossipWire.
Remember, we went viral on the Spotify Rap Caviar podcast.
Yes.
About
Man,
Pusha T.
People don't like people, yeah, see? There we go. And then look what happens. But I'm ready for...
Pusha T or Malice?
Shout out to Pusha T. You're not in my top 50. You might be in Charlemagne's top 50 and things like that.
Pusha
But
top 50.
you haven't done that much for me in my life. Can you name 5 Pusha T records?
What if I told you one reckless comment just triggered the most legendary comeback hip-hop has seen in over a decade? Jim Jones thought he was throwing shade, but instead, he might have lit the fuse that brought back the clips. Stay locked in, because this story is deeper than beef. This is a cultural reset. Congratulations! Do you like the new song? No, but you don't really like Ace Trumpets. What's so wonderful about it? It's really good. It's all good. It's very oh man, it's all good. So, yes, there is something going on that you aren't telling us about. Man, it's all good. And, what a nostalgic value it holds. You don't think Ace Trump exists. I can't believe it, I don't believe it. But that's a completely different thing. 2. Don't want to jeopardize anybody's craft. Push either T or Malice. To keep $1, I'll go with Pusha T. So, we are not going to drink them. Jim Jones finally awoke and pressed the self-destruct button. Man went straight for the neck, taking on not 1, not 2, but 3 heavyweights in the game. Nas, Push It, and Zero Malice. And let's be honest, this wasn't a casual jab, that it was a brazen attack on legends that has now backfired. Instead of gaining clout, Jim is quickly learning, you don't test legends like this unless you are prepared to get cooked. What he considered was only a minor opinion. It turned out to be the catalyst for one of hip-hop's coldest comebacks in a while. The internet lighted up, the culture took note, and people started muttering, "My sons couldn't tell you a single N record. Have you heard? Let's not keep it for a buck here. Did Jim just reunite? Are these clips made by accident?" Yep, it all began when he cast shade at Nas, suggesting he was no longer relevant. That one line transformed into a wildfire. Diss track began, flying left and right, and they hit hard the entire way to the front row during Paris Fashion Week. Imagine it, Pharrell, Beyoncé, and Jay-Z sitting front and center while this lyrical battle raged like a fashion showdown. But wait, here's the actual deal. Jim once said, Pusha T's music never had any meaning for him. Cold, isn't it? However, he now appears to be a major plot twist in the clip's comeback tale. Harlem's Own may have just played. Without realizing it, he has inserted himself into history. Jim came directly for Onyesa's whole heritage. There is no filter, no elegance, just outright disdain. He pulled Nas's name through the gutter, stating his career was forgettable. The next generation is unlikely to care. And, believe it or not, that wasn't even Jim's most outrageous remark. That week, he didn't stop with just one microphone drop. He continued, a full-fledged smear campaign, ever. He's never been discussed like this. This has never happened before in his life. It hasn't. You dig? When he was last there, some people were comparing him to Jay and saying that. Have you heard? You dig? That is correct. Let's end. I don't want to chat regarding other people's careers, but let's just dive into the semantics. No. Okay. This individual made his views into a campaign. He was laughing, repeating himself, and doubling on if he was attempting to go viral via pure hatred. He mentioned The Breakfast Club. Bag fuel with Shannon Sharpe. He repeated it again. Street interviews, live broadcasts, same energy. Disrespect. Jim declared it a mission. Then I was simply being honest as a fan excuse. But don't get it wrong. After playing the lowly card, he refueled on bag fuel. This time, he claimed that he is the reason Nas is trending. So like what? Jim claims that people haven't talked about Nas since Ether. And, sure, he said it out loud on camera, as if he were doing Nas a favor. But here's where Jim portrayed himself. He obviously forgot who he was. I am fooling around. Nas does not clap back on TikTok or hurl shade in the comments sections. Nah, Nas moves like a pro. Quiet, calculated, true G style. While Jim is out here clowning on microphones, Nas has been moving in silence, connecting with billionaires, tech titans, and masterminding massive power plays that speak louder than any diss song ever called. The future is not something to be waited for, it's something you create. It resides in the hands of the doers and dreamers, the individuals who refuse to remain still. Resorts World isn't just a casino. It's energy. It is an opportunity. There is hope for the borough. Some get a second opportunity. For many, this is just the beginning. It's where the community gathers. Jim's out here playing checkers. And Nars is on a rooftop, playing chess with Mogul. While Jim was engaged, pursuing Ness was out here playing a completely different game than gaining clout and making phony drama. Quietly, carefully, strategically, Nas began to create the groundwork for what could be Queen's most significant cultural power shift in history. Oh, my puppy, you are not in my top 50. You may be in Charlemagne's top 50 and such, but you've done little for me in my life. Like I never wanted to be like Pusha. I didn't, and never have a Pusha moment in my life. I never believed you would sing along with the 5 Pusha T. Recordings are now underway. These are his records. Yes. These are his records. Yeah, I really enjoy Pusha nostalgia. He was a Pusha T supporter. When I didn't, he knew he had that kind of fan base. Can you name 5 Pusha T records? No. His records, but no. Can you say no? Can you rap to 5? Push. He didn't have to name names, sling shade, or drop a disc. Nope. He got onto Instagram and casually flexed a $5 billion casino project in Queens. No caption drama, no messes. Quotes are simply a cold and calculated power play that wasn't all business, it was a silent mic drop. A move that screamed, "I'm too rich to argue with you." But Jim ignored the message. Instead of relaxing, he kept putting gasoline on the fire. And this time, he arrived for Pusha T, claiming he was not even in the top 50. Top 50. Yes, Jim said that as if it were fact. But Jim apparently didn't understand that no Malice was also listening in. The streets are now humming. Did Jim's impulsive mouth bring Clips back together? Because this is the thing. Clips had been silent for roughly 15 years. They slipped under the radar. They didn't make the news, but then the plot twist occurred. Way before Jim started, Pusha T had already issued a subtle warning in Rolling Stone. No loud warnings. No drama. Simply a quiet yet evident indicator that something was cooking. Some noise in the clips. This is Genesis. Now hold on. Hold on, please hold on. DC, make some noise for the clips, everybody. Now it appears that Jim's disrespect was not only loud, it may have unwittingly triggered a full-blown comeback. And if Clips returns, it'll be more than simply a rap fight. It's a legacy reset. Push It has been attempting to bring his brother back into the Let's Play for a minute. He stated it clearly. I was like, yo, listen to what I just made. We can definitely accomplish this. But no Malice, he continued, waving it aside as if it were nothing. Pusha even stated, if I had my way, it would be the clips. It is entirely up to my brother. And now Jim Jones may have given them the perfect reason to reconnect. The murmurs began in 2022, when Clips took the stage together at Farrell's Something in Water Festival in Virginia Beach. People were excited, but they weren't sure if it was a one-time thing or not. Bigger. But then came the next hint. At Clips from Chicago's Hyde Park Summerfest featured Lord Willing and Hell Hath No Fury. And this time, no Malice seemed crisp, locked in, as if he was ready to walk back in the ring. But what occurred next? That's when things got real. The brothers turned up in Paris, casually walking. Beth Pharrell, who had recently been chosen the new creative director for Louis Vuitton's men's line, appeared on the runway. Jay-Z and Beyoncé sat front row, observing every action. Then, out of nowhere, a brand new Clips track began screaming through the auditorium. The beat was powerful, and the lyrics were straight surgical. There was uncertainty regarding who it was targeted at. James Jones Pusha wasn't participating. He peered down the lens as if he was looking. Jim is straight through. Every bar seemed like a warning shot. In this complex interview, he discusses his current situation. I would claim that he is the finest of all times. Year after year, hit after hit, he continues to demonstrate his relevance, record after record. Any record he has released has seemed to grow multiple times platinum, as if that had never happened before in history. There are a few other guys that do astronomical figures like that, but hey, I'm extremely into it. Like, this wasn't just a diss track. It was just a moment. It was uncode, it was cooter level beef, and it launched right during Paris Fashion Week in front of everyone. A prominent industry power player, and the brains behind that rollout. Farrell. Fans are now connecting the connections, and it appears Jim didn't just. He started the drama by lighting the fuse for the Eclipse takeover. Was this Pharrell's mode of firing back, a hushed chilly chess move from deep beneath the Louis Vuitton headquarters, after years of Jim gave me side glances and slick words. It is absolutely probable. Especially when you get the time right. Jim had gone out in interviews, people are loudly calling Drake the GOAT, as if it were gospel. No, there is no nuance. Everyone knew what that meant. He was selecting sides in Push's long-running conflict. He even doubled down on the viral complicated interview, making it abundantly clear who he was riding for. And trust the entire industry was paying attention? Then, bang, clips reappeared, no rollout, press run, or warning. Simply a surprise diss tune dropped at Paris Fashion Week. On one of the world's largest fashion venues. A brave move that didn't just altered the energy in the culture and party scene. And I literally attempted to scorch my conscience. Like, forget about it, when they say I did not find God, but God found me. I was trying to party with the devil. Believe me, I tried hard. God himself, no, not you. He did not allow me to do so, and it is what I saw with my own eyes. Whether anybody believes, Jim felt he was just talking grease, but Pusha and No Malice had set him up like a trap. They didn't require a headline. He made the headlines. Now, for the main question. Did Jim accidentally hand No Malice the coldest comeback in rap history, or maybe he simply wrote his own rap obituary without even realizing it? Because the Clips haven't yet released a whole album yet. The fallout is already causing havoc. Let us not forget Pharrell, the quiet brain behind it all. He's not only a producer. He belongs to a family. The architect of the clip sound was the person who helped shape their complete brand. So Jim uses clown footage in interviews, calling them irrelevant. He wasn't only making shots, he was disrespectful to the foundation, and now the foundation is responding with flair, silence, and precision. Jim didn't only shoot at Pusha, he outright mocked Clip's complete heritage, and that's what made this circumstance so unique. Nobody, and we mean nobody, expected No Malice to clap back after more than a decade. Silence. He was the one who remained cool. The older brother who turned away from rap music and instead chose Christianity and serenity. Meanwhile, Pusha remained knee-deep in the game, dropping bars and stacking bodies on wax. There's No Malice. He made it apparent that he had no desire to return until now. So when No Malice's voice unexpectedly burst through the speakers at the Louis Vuitton event in Paris, it did more than just raise eyebrows. It sends chills down spines. And now let's break it down. It was not a throwaway verse. Malice did not come with intent. We all parrot the phrase bird talk. They say, Jim, I wasn't speaking about you. I mean, I would be hurt. Too would be heartbroken. I would be quite upset. You've been hurt badly. Bod was referring to me. That wasn't wordplay. That was the direct isk aimed squarely at Jim's entire Bird Gang brand. His group, his identity, everything. And it didn't stop there. Heju mentioned Paris and Dallas in a freestyle over the chains and whips. Beat. It was not a coincidence that the procedure was surgical. That was something personal. No Malice was listening, locked in, and prepared for combat. So here's where it gets wild. People began to realize this wasn't just a comeback, it served as a warning. Malice did not just show up. Includes a verse. He arrived with fire in his lungs, like if he'd been waiting at this moment. What began as Jim trolling evolved into an invitation to he did his own takedown. There's No Malice. He didn't hesitate. He remained still. He came back like a ghost from the past. Cold, concentrated, and deadly on the pin. Jim believed he was being slick and put Asmel film of himself giggling at Push's lyric from the Paris show, attempting to act cool like it didn't was phased. But then he hit Drink Champs, and that's when everything began. Cracking. Jim's entire mood changed the moment Nar brought up the Clips CD. He abandoned the act. Tough man, energy gone. He slipped badly, right in front of the camera. You saw it. He could feel the verse. No matter how difficult he attempted to laugh it off, but the blow landed. That was the moment. Realized it wasn't simply bars. It was a personal matter, and the strain was increasing behind the scenes. So what happened? What will Jim do? He rushed straight to the booth, firing back with his chains and whips. Freestyle over the exact same rhythm clips that were used to body him. A clear shot back. It felt more like panic than power. Then followed the BT Awards bootleg incident. Kev drew Jim aside for a brief one-on-one. And, as always, Jim tried to play the I am not pressed part, but when Kev mentioned Clip's latest collaboration, chains and trumpets, Jim dropped the mask. No, there is no pause when filtering. Kev responded with a simple, "Congratulations. Do you like the news dong?" Jim snarled, brushing it off as if it was nothing. The bars were referred to as mid, and they claimed to be riding on nostalgia. However, the more he spoke, the more he spiraled in front of the camera. Because here is the truth. What do you truly do when the folks you dissed return stronger, smarter, and all of a sudden bigger than you? Jim played into a comeback arc, but not his own. Jim was now faced with two options: humble himself or double up. And guess what? He grabbed another shovel and continued digging as if the hole weren't deep enough. Just when everyone believed Heck couldn't handle it any further, he returned to nightcap with Shannon Sharp and went off. This time, he said something that left the entire internet in shock. He believed Nas was never particularly influential. Yes, he did say that, according to Jim. Nas always came in second place behind Jay-Z and DMX, as if he actually tried to rewrite history. On video, he then hit everyone with this wild take while maintaining a dead serious expression. That's like saying Jordan fell off after "It's Space Jam." What? Makes sense? It was a delusional thought. However, Jim was gently putting the last touches on something far grander. The two officially announced their long-awaited reunion album, Let God's